to a very rainy Britain, a very sunny Marbella, and to Marilyn Hawes. And
Hello again. And it's sunny today, but yesterday was
oh, there
horrendous.
you go. I
No,
believe so.
yesterday was horrendous. It was just the visibility on the motorways was awful. And it was like it's throwing it down with rain. And it looked like it was like fog. And there's always idiots, isn't there, that still weave in and out of people and go
Oh,
at
you
80
can
miles an
guarantee
hour.
it. Hmm.
Or and cars that don't have lights on. That's so handy. Dark cars, no lights,
Yeah, that's
one
it.
headlight working.
I'll tell you the problem we've got that nobody feels sorry for. This time of the year, the main motorway and the main secondary road, which is as good as a motorway, people drive fast on it, is the sun.
Oh, the sun here, same thing.
The sun goes
Oh,
down, but
yes.
the difference is perhaps the atmosphere is brutally clear. And
Mm,
even when the
mm.
sun is about to set, it doesn't get less intense.
No,
And
it's
all you do
intense.
is see people, and it's so dangerous. You can't
It is
see things.
dangerous. It is dangerous. We used to have where I used to live in Wokingham, there was like a hill that went down to the
Yeah,
school, and it was pine trees either side, and the sun would just sit there, and the number of mums that would have accidents on the way to school
they
because you
do.
just could not see. And even when you put your visa down, it's very dangerous.
That's the problem. For goodness sake, why don't they make them a bit wider?
Yes, I
So
agree with
that,
you.
it's crazy. You
It is
see people
crazy.
driving along and they've
Yeah.
got their hands up, their
Yeah,
feet are
yeah. And
down.
sometimes I'm sort of like hoiking myself up on the steering wheel so I can actually the visor will come down. It's really challenging. It's really and it can you turn a corner and there it is and you're blinded. It's a horrible time of year.
It's very dangerous, and
It
we
is very
concentrate
dangerous.
on other things rather than that. And there should be a bit of a warning, shouldn't there, for
Well, yeah.
everybody?
And also, I was coming back last night, is these awful, piercing bright headlights.
The
Some of the
new
electric cars have
bulbs
got
are
them.
something special, LED
Oh,
ones.
they are really painful on your eyes.
And I tell you the trouble that we find here anyway, there's a lot of posh cars with
Uh,
these LED
yes,
sensor lights
yes.
that are supposed to dip, and they don't.
No, they don't. No, they don't. And I like flashing them, and then of course you've got the people carriers, so they're higher up.
Yep,
The cars are actually bigger, and it's not planned. I can see why a lot of people don't like driving at night now. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I have to do it. Sometimes I just have to do it.
yep, yep, yep.
But there we go. That's that
We've had
whinge.
a moan,
But then you've got the potholes. Oh,
plot holes.
potholes are filled up now with water. So the number of people that are wrecking their tires and their wheels because you can't see. I mean, is that just a puddle or is it sort of a foot deep pothole? It's dreadful. The potholes around here are awful, absolutely awful.
Well, we've got official potholes here. They come in sleeping policeman forms.
Oh,
They're ramps, and it's completely out of control. I see why they've got them round every corner because the Spanish drivers going to be in problems again are truly, truly awful. And they don't obey the law at all. And they drive at loon speeds. So you need these ramps to slow them down. But they should be officially graded because some of them are just put out there and it's like hitting
oh, I
Everest.
know. Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. Some of them are really fierce, aren't they? They are. I agree with you. I agree with you. And in the dark, when you can't, I mean, I clattered over one last night, and I thought, oh, it was so black because where I was down in Epsom, so I was opposite Epsom Racecourse. Oh, I forgot how beautiful. I haven't been there since I was in my 20s. And the houses, oh my life. I mean, it is a beautiful part of the country, but
Yes.
oh, I mean, but pitch black. There was no distorted light at all. So I was driving home last night, and because it was wet, and oh golly,
Yeah.
not very. I mean, I'm here today to
Well,
tell the tale.
this is the A class starter and stopper because they introduced, did Mercedes, the A class
That's right. I used
several
to have
years
one.
ago now, and it was very, very different. But there was a weakness in it, and that was the suspension.
Uh-huh.
And believe you me, in Spain, they hardly lasted more than 6 months.
Yeah, no, I had one, and I vowed I'd never have another Merc. Oh, no.
Oh my, it was
And
a
I tell you,
one-off
but
one.
also they had you got through your tires a lot quicker because they had small
Yes.
tires and they punctured easily as well. And I wasn't happy with it at all, not at all. But there we are. I'm here to tell the tale.
They say, yeah, well, they were adventurous with that one. They even had a slanted engine in the engine bay. It was
Oh,
all very technically correct, but sorry, guys, stick to simple, stupid. Quite often it works. Yes, the old KISS method, keep it simple, stupid, which we're going to go on to something. And it's been a week and a bit before full details have come out about the evangelical preacher who stands there and says, well, I'm praying for the Muslims. And bless him, he was genuine. He wasn't aggressive, but he gets arrested 16 times, actually. It's been to court. And you think, oh dear me, is it the police again? I believe it is. Going up to the top in local levels, let's put it. Every case has been thrown out.
but I
Now,
mean,
if I think we mentioned this last week, £20,000 average cost of a case. Who's paying for this?
crazy,
Me,
crazy.
you,
There was
exactly.
there was another elderly gentleman that was arrested, and he was disabled, and he was arrested because he was encouraging Christmas carols.
Yes.
You see that one? I mean, and there's two coppers taking him off and marching him off. Why can't we sing Christmas carols? We are a Christian country. You know, why?
That's you said the word there. Don't mention Christian. You can measure other religions and you'll be all right. And this gentleman concerned is Mr. O'Sullivan. And they've got him once again. And he's decided, a man of patience after 16 attempts, to sue the police.
I
Good
don't
on
blame
him.
him.
Excellent.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I mean, it's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. You wouldn't do it any harm. I mean, the Muslim people can stand there on street corners and say whatever they like. And oh, and I
Yes.
saw there was a Christmas market up in Manchester where they were like encouraging people to just buy the Quran and all of this, a whole stall in this
Oh,
Christmas market. And people are rightly horrified. You know?
well, I'm going to open. Do they have Christian markets in Baghdad and other places? I'm
No,
going
of
to
course
open a
not.
stall and sell the Bible. I wonder how long I'd last.
Mm. Not your coffee break, that's for sure.
Well, look, we wish him well. He's a harmless bloke that's had a very difficult life and wants to really proclaim the message of how God can help you. What is wrong with that at any level?
And I mean, any religion. I mean, it's awful. It's just awful, awful,
Well,
awful,
let's
awful.
concentrate on the police before we leave the topic. They've got away with it.
Yeah.
The
Well, it's
politicians
two-tier
have.
policing, isn't it?
We
Two-tier
can,
policing. And I mean, why does it take an elderly gentleman, two or three police officers to manhandle him and take him? It's ridiculous.
yes.
That in itself is intimidating. Why couldn't they gently just say it's something, have a word in his ear or something? Why do you have to make it so authoritarian? It is I couldn't believe it when I read it. And I couldn't believe this other poor gentleman, he had a walking stick, was just walking around with a thing about singing Christmas carols. And he got arrested. I mean, that's go and find people that are selling drugs and stabbing people.
Well, it comes from the top. Each chief constable has his own hit list. And as I mentioned, you've got a situation whereby, because it's a local autonomous level, you get little things that come out in the story. And we find it's the same lady, police officer, that puts in the complaint. And she's turns out to be very anti-Christian, uh, following her own activist way of life, and she keeps putting in complaints, and they're followed through. I mean, this is awful when you've got an activist that can cause so much havoc.
It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. I mean, I noticed there was one the other day, there was a Muslim police officer having a go at someone because he was Muslim and the message this woman was saying, or this woman lady was saying. And I think, well, hang on, what's that got to do with you being a police officer? That's not part of it. You're there to police, look after the public, protect us from these things. And I thought, he needs. I can't remember, but it was outrageous that he was Muslim and he was, went up to this lady and giving her what for. And I mean, that's not what your job is. She wasn't doing any wrong. And if you're going to make it a religious thing, you shouldn't. You should be completely unbiased in any way and unprejudiced. If you're working for the police, that has no role to play.
We've had
I
this
I
over,
believe.
yes, we've had this over and over again. And again, it's the Christian theme that you can't pray within a certain amount of meters of an abortion centre. Even if you close your eyes, you're in danger of being
Mm,
arrested.
mm,
It's a nonsense. And the Americans just cannot believe that this is
terrible.
happening in a civilized country. Well, it is. And we found out with a particular case in Bournemouth, friend of mine keeps getting arrested. And we found out it comes from two lesbian police officers because he dared call into this particular case that it was an abortion clinic and also the LGBT parades. And because they didn't like it, because they were lesbian police officers, one year, well, it was the year before last, they allowed the parade to go ahead and said, oh, it's fine. This is great for the family in Bournemouth. It's a particular hotbed of this sort of activity. We'll repaint all our police cars in rainbow. Now, it's cost a fortune.
Oh, you're joking.
I'm not, and this is what happens when, and I noticed actually late last night, this present government of ours want to increase the number of LGBT pride parades, and it's good for our children.
Oh,
Get them
really? Oh, it's really? Oh, it's all
get them
right then.
educated in
And I'm
school.
brainwashing them. That's so good. As good as it? Because I'm not
You
saying.
could call it that. I would. You would.
See, I was explaining, I was on a media show last night and I was explaining this about brainwashing of children that had, like with the transgender and all of that. And I said, and in today's world, I would have been brainwashed into when I go back to my schooling in my Catholic school and Catholic girls' school. And me and my friend Julie, we were 14 and we were just the best of mates. We went everywhere together and we used to walk around the school arm in arm, right? And we weren't weird, but in today's world, we would have been
Oh,
brainwashed
you're
into
potential victims.
without a doubt, without a doubt. But that time in your lives when you are not really, you're emerging, aren't you? You're evolving. You're not really sure of who you are, what you are, and you're exploring. We were just good friends that just were exploring a great friendship. We're still friends. And then we found boys, but we weren't in any way weird. We were just very close friends. And that's the trouble. That is a natural part of growing up and
Yeah,
developing, and that is interrupted by these idiots that try and change that thinking and change that behavior, which is perfectly pubescent behavior, quite,
yeah, yeah. Despite the damage we see everywhere, whether it be trans,
mm,
whether it be homosexual,
yeah,
get on with it if you
yeah,
want to,
exactly,
but
exactly.
don't brainwash our kids into it.
Exactly right. It's dreadful. It's just awful. I mean, then we go back again, don't we? Though, so diversity, inclusion, and ethnicity, no, equality. Yes, right. Well, it isn't equal, is it? It isn't equal because
No,
our heterosexual rights, we don't go around. Wait, we haven't got a flag, have we?
well, yes, that's
Maybe we
another
should have
thing.
a flag.
Yes, well, there you go. Back to the police finally before we finally leave this topic. Um, Sirs, Mr. Plod, watch it because you are taking advantage often in your position. Now,
Yeah.
we have a go at politicians, quite rightly so. We have a go even at the NHS and our wonderful doctors, another issue on strike again. But you seem to get away with it. Why do they get away with it when the potty some of them are? chief constables, depending on where they are in the country, go for themes like this instead of arresting the guilty.
I
They
know.
arrest the innocent. It's low hanging fruit, is it?
It is. It makes. I mean, there's so much crime in this country that there's plenty for them to do around criminality. And your sexuality isn't a crime as long as you're not forcing it on other people. Just let them be. Not. I don't want to see why we have to keep elevating it and proud to be gay. Just get on with it. Just get on with it. But I do object to the NHS giving puberty blockers to young children because that's against the law. I mean, we saw that in
And
the
they
Supreme
still carry
Court.
on. Why should the NHS be?
It would exactly, but the Supreme Court actually said it was against the law. So
Yeah,
how did the NHS get away with it? I don't. This is bonkers to me. I can't get my head around half the stuff that's happening now. I cannot
no,
believe.
you could not, as
You could
we
not make
say.
it up. I get a lot of phone calls from I'm getting a lot of phone calls from people that they hear me on radio or whatever, or TV, and they are like, thank you for being outspoken and talking some common sense. And I said, well, the trouble is, I said, because I don't trust Starmer. I said, this is the first time ever in all the years I've done media, over 23 years, that I've actually joined the Freedom of Speech Union because I don't trust him.
Quickly moving on. My goodness me, time's going. Let's go to Weatherspoons. And they're finding it tough at the moment.
Oh, are they? That's interesting. Because all right,
Yeah,
yeah.
if they find it tough, it must be tough.
Oh, it is for everybody. I think it's dreadful. I mean, it's so nice when you see a pub with lots of cars in the car park that you think, well, but then you think, for how long for? I just think how Keir Starmer can go on about how proud he is of the budget. What you're very proud that you're actually wrecking businesses.
Yes, yes.
It's awful. It's awful. So Weatherspoons, well, they do some very good. I mean, I don't go in there, but they do. They are.
It's very budget. It seems to be working. Working so good, they've decided to open in Alicante Airport. Yes, and capture the market. And that they're going to find the basic costs are very much less than Britain.
Wow.
VAT is 10% and not 20. So they're going to rejoice in that. But the competition is fantastic. But obviously, he sees an opening there for the Brits who want their cheap all day breakfast. And while on the subject of that, that's interesting because they're also, I think, in Gatwick and certainly they are in Heathrow
Yeah, they are. They
and,
are.
and they are there in their glory. And I'll tell you what, well done them, because if you go into Club Aspire, which is the bit upper market pre-flight nosh place, you're going to be paying £42 for an all English breakfast. And apparently it's rubbish, according to which eggs that are plastic, scrambled, horrible, the usual stuff. He's opened up there in Heathrow and he charges £14.50 for a proper full English, plus £3 for your drinks. But I mean, how can we get a cost in the teens and they get a cost in the fort? I mean, is it that posh? Are the seats that posh in the Aspire restaurant? I mean, it's nonsense, isn't it?
It's crazy. I mean, I think anything you get in an airport. I mean, I like it when I get to an airport. You have a glass of wine and you think, yeah, about to get on the plane, really nice. But I mean, you can nearly cough at the price of a large glass of wine. It's like £12 or something, isn't it? It's crazy prices,
Mad
crazy.
prices. I've just been sent some information from the US about a massive survey, and she's not going to be talking to me forever now. And they have linked drinking whatever number of glasses of wine, even one a week, with Alzheimer's. And they're very positive about this. And even if you're in your 20s and having a nice glass of wine, which we do, obviously, in Spain, makes you think, but there's a higher correlation, significantly higher for the future. Oh dear.
Well, you wouldn't eat or drink anything, would you? I saw something in the
True.
in my corner of my eye yesterday that was going on about it was on may I say it was on BBC. They were going on about the clothes we wear and things we wear and the particles and the toxic stuff that's in some of the clothes we wear and how it can cause us kidney problems and this, that, and the other. I said, well, shall we all just go around naked then? You know, it's always something that's going to get you, isn't there?
Well, it'll be the pneumonia if you go around about, yes, naked.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, how much? I mean, I saw it come out the other day. Who was it? Yeah, oh, I can't remember his name. And it came out and said about there wouldn't be enough oxygen or something. I mean, we're getting to the stage where we wouldn't be able to eat anything, drink anything, wear anything.
Yeah. Well, look, let's go over the pond. They've got their problems. There were this shooting of the two guards. One
Oh gosh, yeah,
has died outside the White House, and the president acted immediately. Where's he from? How did he get here?
yes.
Afghanistan. Right, he's the last one to come from Afghanistan. And while I'm at it, I'm going to shut other African countries down as well.
Don't blame him.
And can you see that happening in Great
No,
Britain?
not at
No.
all. Not at all. I mean, I think, well, love him or leave, love him or not, love him or hate him. I mean, he does act on stuff that is in the best interest of his country and the protection of his society. And he's right to do that. Absolutely right. You can't keep having this. I mean, there was a guy in the news yesterday who was from Afghan, and he was having an argument with someone because he had been in court for touching up a 14-year-old girl. The 14-year-old girl had been going, it's all on CCTV. And no, no, go away, I'm 12. And he was trying to, do his stuff with her. And he was really having a go at the person, saying, this is my religion, I'm allowed to do this. Well, go back to where you came from then, pal. If that's your religion, it's not ours and it's not our law. We have, he said, that's right. He said, we have our laws. Well, we don't. We are a civilized country, supposed to be. And I did see, I don't know if you saw the march at the weekend with Crowborough, 4,000 people came out marching against, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. And then the Epping thing is still going on. Of course, now there's outrage because those people are going to be housed in brand new houses in a very nice part of the area. And I don't know how you can actually do that and let your own people be sleeping on the streets. And did you see in the paper, London, parts of London with all these tents and people lying all over the place? It looks like the back end of Delhi. It's absolutely dreadful. I mean, I just, Sadiq Khan is just useless. Absolutely useless. It's
Well, there's
awful.
quite a few of them that are in the same category. To cheer you up, no, it won't. Let's move over to Holland. And they've got the same problem as we have.
Oh, yeah, they have. Yeah.
There was a young girl, Ryan Al Najjar, who was found dead in a swamp and gagged and bound. Awful. It comes out about the family, and she apparently was, according to the family, becoming too westernized.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah,
was chatting to boys. She
yeah.
wasn't wearing the right headgear, and
Mm,
she was actually using social media.
mm.
And therefore,
Naughty girl.
the two brothers, together with
Yeah.
father, got hold of her and murdered her.
Terrible.
You
It's
cannot believe this. Well,
absolutely dreadful.
it has come home because we've had living with us for quite a few months a young lady, Muslim, who fled Britain because her husband was Shia and she was Sunni, and that caused havoc. And she was threatened to be killed. She had to do a runner.
Mm, mm.
Islam, in its extreme versions, and it's not isolated.
Oh,
There are
it's
lots of
not
extreme Muslims.
honor-based violence. It's nothing. There's no
It's
honor in it.
horrible.
It is absolutely horrible, and it does go on here in Britain, and it isn't reported, and people do go missing, and they get away with it. It's more, it's like female mutilation, genital mutilation. There's more of that that goes on here than
Exactly that.
anybody would want to know, and it keeps somehow keeps under the radar by nature of their culture, I think, and the fact they can't talk about it, don't talk about it. But the honor-based violence is yeah, it's definitely in this country. But the numbers that they say there are, it's far worse.
You
It's
can
far worse.
multiply that by quite a few
Yeah,
factors.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I read that story. It was dreadful, absolutely awful. You
You
know,
read another story as well about, you got to laugh. No, you haven't. You got to cry. A trans child molester, and he was very annoyed. He accused the jury of all being hypnotized, therefore let him off. What's this about?
I have to say, honestly, if you believe in transgender, I think they really messed up this guy's operation because he doesn't look anything. It's hideous. I just do one look at this guy with his long hair and his glasses. It really is a man with a wig. So whether he has actually transitioned, I don't know. But I mean, he was, yeah, that poor 12-year-old girl who was molested by him because it's bad enough, but he just, you need to check it online. I mean, the photograph of him is pretty, I haven't got it on my phone now, but it's horrific. I mean, it's well, the situation isn't laughable, of course, but the way he calls himself, he's a woman. I don't what. Yeah, I
Uh,
think he's come out of the Ugly Sisters from the pantomime,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, exactly that. I mean, you again. We defy gravity, don't
You
we?
know, if you're going to do it, if you're going to transition, for goodn's sake, do it properly.
Oh no, there's another alternative. Appear at the Your conference this last
Oh,
weekend. And
Sultana.
if you want to see the loons, they're all there in all their glory. I've never heard so much twaddle in all my life.
Oh, Sultana.
Oh my goodness me. I mean, look,
Do you think there's something in the water? Do you think
they're
there's something?
entitled to their view. What really worries me were the idiots in the audience shouting and cheering and encouraging her, and all the others that stood up for their 3 second
That's
taste of
what's
glory.
frightening is that they do there's other people like them. That's what's worrying. Oh dear. Maybe there is a point that we shouldn't have free speech.
We used to be normal and have
I
the
know it's just bizarre. I mean, the number of people that perfectly sane people that phone me up and maybe they want to make a donation or something. And this guy yesterday, he was ever so nice. He came from Wales, really nice chap, and he said, "How on earth did we get in this state in just a year?" And I said, "Well, I think it's never been anything like it in our history ever." And I
no.
said, "It's that people must be aghast at how we are over here. I'd love to know what people think about us across the pond.
Oh
I'd
well,
love to know
I
what
can
Trump
tell you
really
that
thinks.
quite easily. They're even more gobsmacked than we are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd love to know what Trump thinks. I mean, honestly.
Oh yes, yes, yes. The protected territory. Right. What isn't protected territory is that the teachers now want to work a 4 day week.
Oh,
Well, right. What happens to kids on the fifth day is my
yeah,
first question.
yeah.
Oh, well, they'll probably, government will throw more money up and down the drain and pay for more clubs out of school or in school.
And how can they justify that?
Well, they're tired. I mean,
Oh,
that's literally
well,
what
it
they
is
said.
tiring.
We're
It
tired.
is tiring.
Yes, of course it is.
It would be less tiring if the children in the schools were less feral. If they had better behavior in the schools, they'd feel less tired.
Well, here we go. Now, she's not going to agree with me on this, but there we go. I remember teaching class as a student teacher. That's how old I am and go beyond the forms of grace that govern us today. And I had a class. It was the old 11 plus year, as it was called. And one teacher was taken suddenly ill and they were desperate. They must have been. They got me in and I had a class of 48. I had no problems with discipline or getting on with the kids. 48, how do you do that? Well, times have changed a little bit
Absolutely. Absolutely.
in many
Absolutely.
ways. First of all, a lot of the kids are disrupted because they've got no parenting for one
Well,
reason
that's right.
or another. Secondly, the amount of stupid data paperwork that teachers now have to do, guarding against this, that, and the other, or caused by disruption, was not there in our early days. So you could teach your class, but now we've got to get a TA, a teaching assistant in, sometimes to change nappies
I
because the
wouldn't do it.
parents, you can't write the script again,
Honestly,
can you?
wouldn't do it. I would flatly refuse because, go back in the day, you weren't allowed to go well, this is when you had the occasional nursery, but you couldn't go, your child could not go to play school at 3 if they weren't toilet trained. And rightly so.
Yes.
Unless you've got some disability, that's different, of course. If you've got something that, means you can't because in some way you've been born different and it's not straightforward. But I absolutely wouldn't do it. I know they do. I know they come in. I mean, I think it's an outrage to expect teachers to do that, or even the TA. Why would you? It's
No,
awful.
you're right.
And it's just
Anyway,
laziness. It's just laziness on the part of the parent. Utter
yeah, well,
laziness.
come on, that's a good word, lazy. One out of three children in Glasgow have not got English as a first language. My first reaction was that I can't understand Glaswegian anyway.
No,
So I was
no.
thinking, but three out of three, no ITs. I mean, basically, again, this is because of over immigration, and it really is holding children back because the teachers are spending too much time teaching them English and teaching that as a better language, not their first language necessarily, but it's holding the rest of the kids up.
Of course it is. Of course it is. There I was at a school earlier this year where, in the space of 2 years, where you used to see the, maybe there were one or two black children in the class or ethnic difference, whatever. I went back this year and you were struggling to count any white children.
Yes.
I think in every class there was only about 3 or 4 white children, and they had 30 different languages. This is in a primary school. How do you cope with 30 different languages? How the heck do you teach them? You can't have 30 interpreters.
No.
I
No,
mean,
we go over the top with other people. I look at all the translations that are issued in within the NHS, if you like, to help people. You compare that with Spain and Portugal and France. There's this, if you can't speak the language, you better learn it quick.
that's right.
Otherwise, we'll cut the wrong leg off.
When we went to live in Portugal, I really realised pretty quickly, having been told it's a very much an English-speaking country, that where we went, an hour north of, an hour north of Lisbon and an hour down from Porto, and it's a beautiful fishing village. That I mean, they didn't have a word, they didn't speak a word of English. So I learned very quickly that I'm going to have to learn this hideous
It's
language.
the way in the deep end. I'm sorry, but you go in the deep end, you have to.
You have
But,
to.
but moving swiftly on, we're out of time.
But I was actually proud of myself for doing it. And when you're like in your 50s, it's a very good skill. It's a very good thing for your brain to learn a language or to learn a musical instrument. It does increase the little grey cells.
Yes, it's surprising. We've not got time at the moment, but there's proof that second language people
Yeah,
actually do better
yeah.
mentally and in other ways than others. Interesting. Right. Children under 5 in the United Kingdom, nearly 1 million of them have got a smartphone.
Oh,
So
don't get me
four,
started.
2 year olds, 1 year old.
Yeah,
What is that about?
I know. I know because his parents are stupid enough to. I mean, I now go in to train year 2 children, so they're 6 years old. on and the staff are you'd say, well, how many of you have got a smartphone? You should see the staff's faces when the hands go up. And I go, and how many of you got an iPad? Nearly all of them have, 6 years old. And I mean the staff are just absolutely gobsmacked. Like, and you shouldn't be, they really, I don't know. I mean, I ought to do something on, for goodness sake, Christmas is coming. Please don't buy your child an iPhone. You
Well,
don't.
I mean, you've mentioned lazy parents. Let's be charitable and say, yeah, lazy parents. You go to a restaurant, half the time the kids being treated out for a meal
No one's
are on
talking.
there's no
Yeah,
conversation, they're on the phones.
yeah,
But when it
exactly.
comes to 4 years old and they're on TikTok and other things like this, it affects them. We
Of course
repeat
it
so many
does.
times, Marilyn,
Of
the rest
course it
of their
does.
lives.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, the children should be allowed to be children, and it's too much for their brains. It really is too much. And I just don't understand people. What that they might be have the money and have good jobs and the money to buy these things, but they haven't got much common sense. I mean, and what I feel is that, you do definitely see it in pubs and in restaurants. You've got the family there, granny's there as well, and cousins and everybody, and very quickly out come the iPads to give the children. Why aren't they talking to them? Why aren't they engaging in conversation with
Why
them?
are they having children? Because they are prioritized. Your most important
Yeah,
job,
you
mum
haven't. Yeah,
and dad, is
you-
bringing up your kids.
yes, it's
Not
not. Yeah, it's not
going,
like
oh,
buying
well,
a.
I prefer that job and I'm going to make it as a man or as a woman, whatever cost it is. Well, it's costing you, your future, your child's future,
Yeah,
and the country's future.
absolutely.
You're not bringing up good, well adjusted, morally decent children.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because you can't. I say it again, the things they see, you can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unhear what you've heard. And it really irritates me. And why aren't these children? Why can't you take them out for a walk? Why can't you take them to a park? They would have much better mental health if they got out in the fresh air where it's free and you can walk by the stream, you can go and do some gardening, you can get out in the fresh, walk through the woods. It's free. If people went out and communed with nature, they would feel an awful lot better. So, like with the dementia stuff, they have allotments with the dementia group that I know, and they get a lot of benefit out of it because there's that feeling of real achievement because you planted carrots and they've grown and now you can eat them yourself or you put them in food banks. And this is people who have, you know, I actually think Alzheimer's is somehow worse than dementia. I think the memory goes so much faster. Um, you
It's
know,
certainly with a quick acting
I think
Alzheimer's,
it does.
very
From what
quick.
I've seen, I mean, I never knew anything about any of this until 3 years ago. But from what I've seen, Alzheimer's is a faster deterioration
It is in
with
one
the
form, it's
memory,
very fast.
with the memory.
In another form, it can carry on for decades.
Exactly, exactly. It's a strange one, but as is dementia, it's a strange one. And if you get vascular dementia, that's another one that often comes with the Alzheimer's,
Yes,
and that's a fast one. And I've seen it in the groups that I take Roger to. You think, oh my gosh, that's been a downward trajectory in the last year. And
yes,
then and
yes,
the inability to recognize people, to know who people are, that's very sad. And that is very much Alzheimer's, I think.
yes,
Um,
yes.
it's very, very sad.
It's a cruel, cruel disease.
It is. It is. And people, unless you're living with the people don't understand.
No.
They really don't understand how.
Okay. I know it's not finally, but nearly finally, and we'll discuss it at one level. Trial by jury. Our friend,
Oh,
lovely
liability
Lama.
Lammy,
Yes, him as well.
calamity Lammy.
He wants to basically change the system. I don't blame him for that, so do I. But his way of doing it is to give the lesser cases, those that were going to get a sentence of 2 years and less, a judge and two helpers. is in
Well, I
the
thought that happened anyway. Magistrates do that, don't they?
well, the idea is a judge and two magistrates, all similar.
Because I thought they did that anyway. If it was a crime that got less than 2 years, it doesn't need to go to the Crown Court.
No, that's true. There's 80,000 cases waiting.
But I don't see how is it any quicker how are you going to clear the backlog? Because I mean, they say the court cases are lasting longer. Is that because more witnesses are brought forward? I don't know. I mean, but
Well,
that's
it's very complex, but if you put one thing into the pot, judges never turn up at court before 10:30.
oh yes,
They have an early lunch, and it's usually a long one, and they go home at 4 o'clock.
they leave at 4. That's right.
And that needs changing. That is simple, stupid again to change,
Mm.
isn't
But
it?
I was annoyed when I saw for certain crimes like murder and stuff like that. Yeah, but I put out on Twitter. And what about paedophilia? Is that going to be deemed
Which
not?
class is that going to be in? Well,
Yeah, which
exactly.
category is that going to be in? Exactly. You know, where's that going to be? What about I mean, can they clear it quicker? I don't know. But I mean, how can he change the justice system just by the sweep of a pen? It hasn't even been discussed again in
No,
Westminster.
this is going to go on for years, and you'll find again that the people in power, our judges, our government, our blob, our civil service, will get their own way, and it will either be long grass kicking into, or it will be a watered down version of that, sadly.
I don't know. I just I don't think it's right at all. I mean, but on the other hand, having said that, there are times when you think juries um it is difficult, isn't it? Because they don't they're judging people when they some of them are just do not understand
No, no,
the
there's understanding, and there's also, as we mentioned, the dominance of one person on that jury
yes,
that will change other people's
yes,
mind
yes,
because
yes,
it's
yeah,
just within
yeah, yeah.
character to do that.
Yeah,
So,
and they can make unconscious bias, can't they?
yes,
Judgments on
but
how someone looks or how, you know, they don't have the broadness of mind and the empathy to sort of see what has created this and how can we maybe not let it happen again. I don't know. I just don't understand how you can just something that has been forever. Are there any countries that don't have juries?
oh yes, and they make it work.
Oh, right, okay. Like
Well,
which?
I'm saying they make it work. Canada was the first one, I think.
Oh God, they're not exactly an example, are they?
Oh no, probably not. Listen, we got to go, but we got to mention something that is not trivial, and that is food. And we're going to mention food. It's the time of the year, autumn, when we want a big fire. We want a nice bowl of soup in our hands. And my advice is to experiment. We've been experimenting in our household. We needn't do that in our restaurants because we've got the machinery to cope with instant but natural soups, not out of a blooming packet of.
They don't take long to cook.
No, it doesn't.
You just chuck it all in with some stock and whisk it all, and it's done.
Get yourself a crock pot.
Yeah.
Now, these go back for centuries, of course. A slow cooker. Let it do its
Yeah.
stuff all day, or you can put it in a quick mode and do
Mm.
it in half a day. But to chop some vegetables up
It's just so easy.
is very
It's
helpful.
so easy.
But you've got to be careful that you've got to have a soup with taste.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
if you go to the manufacturers of soup, they put in all sorts of taste enhancers, emulsifiers, anything that will cut your life short. And I'm not
I always put when I
exaggerating.
do soups, I put a lot of parsley in. I always think that gives it a bit of a kick.
Well done. You've got to give it a kick. Well, garlic gives it a kick.
Oh,
You might
and
not like that.
chili, a little bit of chili.
A little bit of chili, but don't forget the taste enhancers like herbs.
Yeah,
Don't forget the herbs. You don't have to have a spicy soup.
yeah.
You can have herby soup. Um, the other thing to enhance it is onions, tomatoes. If you're doing an onion soup, which can be gorgeous, or it can be completely tasteless, don't forget the cheese. That really makes it. Don't
Black
forget the
pepper, black pepper.
black pepper. Don't forget the potatoes
Hmm.
that thicken it. And if you want some thickeners, use maize, uh, pea polvo. What is that in English? Powder.
Yeah.
Pea powder. Sounds revolting. But it's full of protein, which is good for you. Thickens the soup. Don't just chuck it in there because it becomes lumpy. You've got to put it in there truly mixed and hot if you can, and add it slowly. And you will find that you can freeze it because
Oh, yes. Yeah, easy. I sometimes think, anyway, it's better sometimes when you've frozen it.
second time around
But it seems to have marinated the flavors together more.
it
I think
does.
if you make a bolagnese, and I batch bake that, and it's much better for having been frozen, and
Yes,
it just melds to the flavors seem to sort of like
and with
absorb
some
into each
soups, don't
other.
forget the wine, just
No,
like a
of
stew.
course not.
And so now you've given up drinking, I will allow you to put in soup. We gotta go.
Not a chance.
Yes. At least we've finished on some good news. Get some good soups down. It's healthy.
Absolutely, yeah, they're great. I love making them. I really do. I find it really, I don't know, I just find it like very rewarding.
It is. It gives self satisfaction. Don't use white bread like the lovely Marilyn does. White soggy bread. Use all grain bread to dunk
Oh,
into it.
no. No, I always use the, no, I don't use white bread. I don't.
That's
I
all
know
right.
it's lovely. I think with toast and fried bread, white is
And
lovely.
bacon
But
butties. Yes, we've done.
yeah, bacon butties. There's certain things that are better, but I still don't do it. I still won't do it. I still like, superseded, that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
superseded. That's it. Well, we've been superseded by time, and
Yes,
we
again.
again.
All
So we
right.
go, and we'll see you very shortly.
See you later. See you later. Bye bye now. Bye bye.